Hey guys, this is Billy Williams with Inspire Nation Business Mentoring. I'm so excited that you decided to allow us to be a part of your success team. But in order for you to be successful, we have to implement processes. That's why we created the Inspire a Nation Business Mentoring Process Implementation Success System. It's a seven-step system that I'm going to go over with you now. Okay? So most agencies struggle to implement new processes because they don't have a simple, repeatable system. That's why I developed the Inspire Nation 7-step insurance agency process implementation success system. That's a mouthful, right? But here are the 7 steps. Number 1, write out the steps. Number 2, block off 1 hour per day for implementation. Number 3, use our ready to modify scripts, templates, and checklists. Number 4, we're going to set up your technology the right way. Step 5, we're going to automate what we can. Step 6, we're going to train and role play so your team uses the scripts, templates, tools, and automation correctly. And then step 7, we're going to spot check and retrain for long-term success. We're going to refine everything, make sure we're good, and we're going to come back and we're going to retrain. So I want to go over each step so that you understand what's involved. Step number 1, write out the desired steps of the process from beginning to end. So to create an effective insurance agency process, you must have a vision of how the process should look from start to finish. So what we've done is we've taken our best in class, we've taken our history, our knowledge, our experience, our wisdom, and we said, based on that and our time-tested, proven processes, what should the workflow look like? So we start from the very beginning. I mean, if it's a phone call, from the moment you pick up that phone until the moment that customer renews, what happens? We walk through that workflow. And then once we know what that workflow should look like, then we move on to step 2. Step 2 is time blocking. Now I have an idea of what it's going to take. For our level 1 members, you have to dedicate at least 1 hour per day for implementing the process. Level 1 is more self-service. Level 2 and level 3, we're going to use our dedicated implementation training, role play sessions, and we're going to implement most of that process with you and for you. Step 3, modify the Inspire Nation provided scripts, templates, and forms related to the process being implemented and make them individualized for the agency. The scripts, templates, and forms provide the common language that the agency speaks to customers, to each other, and to carriers with, right? It's that common language. It is a critical step in adding consistency and efficiency to the agency. There are a lot of things that I can't get your staff to say, but I can get them to send. There are a lot of things that they should say a certain way, can't get them to say it that way, but I can get them to send a form or script or template or document that says what it needs to say, the way it needs to say it, at the time it needs to be said. Now, modifications can include adding merge fields to templates and adding merge fields to forms. And that's so that those templates and forms are personalized and individualized for the contact, for the staff member, and for the agency. So step 3 is a really big deal. We spend probably a week or 2 in step 3 just making sure everything is right, okay? Step 4, technology setup. So the 4th step is to load the scripts, templates, and forms into the correct technology tools used in the agency and to learn how to send, receive, store, and create tasks associated with the scripts, templates, and forms. Now, this step is going to quickly identify the strengths and weaknesses of the technology tools. Guys, I work with 130 something different agency management systems throughout our mentoring and our training. And some of them are really, really good. And some of them are basically a spreadsheet. So whatever you have, we'll start wherever you are and we'll work from there. I'm not going to suggest you go buy new stuff until we maximize what you already have. Understand something. Most agencies only utilize 40% of the technology capability. 40%. So a lot of times you don't need new technology. You just need to utilize it better. But if you don't have a workflow that forces you to utilize it a certain way, you think your system's broken, and it's not. Okay, it's not. And this Step four, technology setup, goes hand in hand with the 20 questions to ask your technology training that we provide as part of our Inspire Nation resources. At the time of this training, it's on module 3, where we're going through and we're asking those 20 questions of your technology. Once you ask those 20 questions and you answer those and you actually see those things in action, you will know the strengths and weaknesses of your process, of your technology. And so then we can utilize everything that we need. Okay. Step 5, automate as much as possible. So we need to identify which steps that we wrote out in step 1. Remember, we wrote out the whole process, but which steps can be automated, because the more we can automate, the better. Okay. So like step 4, this step will quickly identify the strengths and weaknesses of the technology tools, as well as possible functions the technology can complete. So a lot of times agents will think they got a really good tool, and we'll start going through the 20 questions and we'll start setting up our scripts, forms, and templates, and we'll start looking at what we can automate, and they realize, oh my God, this thing can't do anything. It really is a glorified spreadsheet. And then sometimes they're blown away by just how good their technology is. They just never used it properly. So that's why we want to automate as much as possible. Plus, it just makes it easier for the agency and for the team members. Step 6, train and role play. This is the absolute weakness in most agencies, but it's the glue that makes the process stick in the agency. So the key to getting your people to buy into the implementation of a process is for them to come in when the process is 90% or more set up and it's been operationally tested. Involving your team while the process is not properly set up or while the process is broken will only add to your staff's frustration and irritation, and it's going to reduce their buy-in. That's why we don't even train and role play a process until we've gone through steps 1 through 5 and make sure those things are working. We strongly suggest that you utilize the Inspire Nation mentoring sessions and allow Inspire Nation to lead the training and role play during the sessions. Not saying you don't need to do it outside of our sessions. You definitely do on a regular basis. But when we're there and we're overseeing it and we're doing it the right way, it tends to add more credibility and more value to the actual training and role play session. So it's just so important. Now, if training and role play, if that's the glue that holds everything together, then what's the concrete? Well, the concrete is spot check and retrain. Okay? Spot check and retrain. So spot checking and retraining must be done on a consistent basis. Inspire Nation heavily focuses on spot checking and heavily focuses on retraining, not only for the agency staff, but for the agency leadership as well, because a lot of agency leaders don't know how to spot check. They don't know how to retrain. They're not even good at the initial training. So guys, these are the 7 steps of the Inspire a Nation process implementation system. Okay. Step 1, write out the process. Step 2, time block. Step 3, add in those scripts, templates, and forms, and let's merge fill them. Let's get them individualized and personalized for the agency. Step 4, let's utilize the technology for the process we're setting up. So if we're doing the policy review process, I don't worry about the endorsement process. I don't worry about the claims process. I don't worry about the remarket process. I worry about the process that we're getting in place and everything associated with it. And then we move to the next process. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So step 5, set up the automation. Let's see what we can automate in the agency. Step 6, let's bring in the staff for training and role play. We know the steps 1 through 5 are done. We tested them. We know they're working. Now, when we bring a staff person in to train and role play, we're bringing them into a successful operation, not one that they're watching you fumble and bumble. Okay. So now we've got your automation set up. We're doing your training and your role play. That's all fantastic. But if we don't do step 7, which is spot check and retrain, it will never become part of the agency culture. It will never stick. Okay, because there's no accountability. Spot checking, retraining, that adds accountability. Those are the 7 steps of the Inspire a Nation process and role play excuse me, of the Inspire Nation Process Implementation Success System. This is Billy Williams. Schedule that meeting. Let's go ahead and get started so we can get your agency going to the levels and to the heights that you know it can go. Okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.